What is one of the most controversial concepts I've come across in product development? It'll be understanding controversial, I suppose. But I actually think this idea that developers, particularly in the software world, coders, can talk to customers. It baffles me. The way that we want to work is bringing those who have a problem, those who have a need, together with those who can meet that need, can solve that problem. Yet you get so much resistance. And people have said to my face, developers can't talk to people. And you just, really? Really? Is that an honest belief? Do you think that smart, articulate folk, which software developers are, can't talk to other people? Well, why not? What gives you that belief? Are you so bought in to what the internet's told you about the average developer? Well, you may want to talk to them. You may want to understand where they're coming from. Okay. The way that I battle it is, to be honest, stand up to it, face into it and go, okay, do your developers talk to each other? Probably, yeah. Do they have significant others in their lives? Do they manage to talk to them? Yeah, probably. Okay, so we've removed this they can't talk to people piece. They can clearly talk to people. They do it, likely on a daily basis. Do they enjoy it? That's a different question. They can. Okay, so it's not about whether your developers can talk to your customers. It's whether you want to let them. And we need to understand why you wouldn't. Okay? And it is very often hygiene factors. Sometimes, quite literally, hygiene factors. But, they're clunky in how they speak. They take time. They struggle to articulate in language the customer understands. Yes, they may well. Many great developers do struggle to explain to non-developers some of the technical stuff that they're dealing with because it's really hard to understand. Okay, that's the case. Do you have interpreters for that? Yeah, you do. They're probably called something like a business analyst. Why wouldn't they be in the conversation? And actually at that point, you get people look at you a bit confused because it's not an either or. No, we have people who work in businesses today, in organisations around the world, who do that translation, who communicate both with technical and business. The business analyst. They're somebody who has traditionally gone out and worked with those stakeholders to understand their needs, develop requirements, and bring them back in a form that developers can consume. So by the very nature of their role, they need to understand both worlds. So we're not getting rid of those people. We're just taking them and calling them a developer in the broadest sense of the word. Somebody who works towards the development, the creation of a new product. So they're in the room. They're maybe leading the discussions. So we can do it. They can turn up and have conversations, and as they do it, they're going to get better at it because practice will breed experience. Or you can stick them in a box, have one person go and talk to the customer, work out what that problem is, and then take that information to the developer. That's the traditional approach because developers don't talk to customers, which is rife with problems. Okay? That business analyst, highly skilled person, highly intelligent, highly capable person, okay, is going to talk to a stakeholder, and they're going to ask all the questions they believe are relevant, that they know about. And they'll get answers and they'll help the customer articulate those answers in a way, and they'll draft it up and they'll check back, and then they'll take it to the developers. And the developers will understand what the BA has written. Not, and this is an important thing, what that stakeholder said. Because they've never heard it. All they have now is the interpretation of what was said. Okay? And it may be a good interpretation, it may be a poor interpretation, but it's always missing some. What? I don't know, but it's always missing something. So the developers are now working on second-hand information, and they have questions, because they have questions that the BA wouldn't and couldn't be expected to know. So they ask the BA of them. The BA takes away likely difficult questions of a technical nature and takes them to the customer. BA doesn't necessarily understand them to the depth that the developer asking does. So again, we have slight miscommunication, misrepresentation of the questions. Not a conscious and malicious act, just human nature. It's who we are. We remember things based on our own experiences, our own state of mind, and we relay them as such. So our BA is now talking to a customer, and things are also going slower because they're going to do the same thing. They're going to get answers, they're going to refine them, they're going to work with them, then they're going to take them back to the developers. That will lead to more questions, which leads to more misunderstanding. Okay. And things by their very nature are slow because everything's being done via a single person. That doesn't sound healthy, sensible, efficient, or particularly effective. So instead, why couldn't we take that BA, take those coders, those developers, put them in a room with the stakeholder, virtual or in real life, and have all of that conversation together quickly? We have somebody who understands to a reasonable level both sides of the fence. We have somebody or some people who understand the problem. They understand what they're trying to achieve. And we have people who can solve that problem. And together, they can work out their common language. They can understand. They bring skills that not only help explore the space, but understand it and verify that they're talking about the same things. And now, in that conversation, we have everything that happened in that other scenario all happening together. It's messy, it's confusing, it can be difficult, particularly in the early days of introducing people into different worlds. But it's way more effective because now the developers are hearing the actual answers. And they're going to ask the questions that come up straight away and get answers. Hopefully straight away. So it's more efficient. It's more effective because they're hearing it, not secondhand, not with misrepresentation, not with misunderstanding in place, but they're hearing it. And as such, they can challenge their assumptions, they can challenge their own understanding, okay, to improve. And you've got lots of people hearing it, not just one person. So somewhere in the middle of all those misunderstandings is a commonality. And that's correct, as everybody understands it. And all the other things, they can work with each other to understand better. Either developers on their own, when they're away from the stakeholders, or with the stakeholders there and then. This sounds like what we're trying to do. This is collaboration. Okay? Why wouldn't you want that? It seems to be an incredibly controversial idea, but I will always come back to, you decide to have a shower one morning and a pipe bursts. Do you want to talk to somebody who can talk to somebody about how to fix it, or do you just want the plumber to turn up and solve your problem? If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.